Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. Today's video is my review for Arang and the Magistrate. So, I'm sorry, but it opens with Lee Jungi lounging about on a rock and I was so confused, like, what is happening? Like, it's not that I'm not appreciative of it, but I initially thought it was an episode card and then I was like, right, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit unsure at first when I was watching the first episode. Like, I was really intrigued by the ghosts and the ghost lore, because, you know, they had, like, Grim Reaper, Ghost Hunter kind of guys going after the ghosts, and I was mildly curious about Arang and what had happened to her and how she died, and obviously his mother, but I had kind of figured out that they were probably connected from the start, like right from the start, as soon as they mentioned it, right from the start. The thing that gave me pause with this drama was the romance aspect and how it was going to play out, because obviously, you know, she's dead. She's a ghost. She ain't coming back. Well, I figured she wasn't coming back. So I was kind of worried about how it was going to end, because I feel like Scarlet Heart Rio has permanently scarred me when it comes to K-dramas, because now I'm always just like, it needs to have a happy ending, otherwise I will literally just, no. I was also side-eyeing the scene with the guy in white and the guy in black. I side-eyed that a lot. Like, they kept popping up and they kept having these, you know, vague conversations. They were playing Go, and, you know, I assume the Go board in the pieces was like the world, because obviously, you know, Jade Emperor and essentially Hades. They were arguing, they were bickering. I was kind of curious. I enjoyed that bickering, but I was side-eyeing them a lot. Like, the first episode, I saw them and I was just like, what is this doing? Right. Okay, I'm not like an overly religious person, I'm just gonna put that out there in this video, so I did side-eye it a lot. Plus, the Jade Emperor kept fondling a flower goat. Like, every time he was in scene, he was there petting this little goat, and I was just like, what? But I did end up really enjoying their two characters. I love that bickering and I love that bantering, but the Jade Emperor was so annoyingly vague throughout the entire thing, and he'd get asked a question and he'd just stand there with this smile on his face, and I was just like, at least, like, you know, nod, blink, give some indication, but he would just stand there and it annoyed me. As for our Magistrate, he is a brat. He is a whiny little mummy's boy. She ain't wrong about that. But he is also a badass, which, you know, is kind of to be expected when it comes to Jungi's characters. I don't think he's played a character that I have watched anyway that isn't a badass. There's always fight scenes that he gets to, you know, look epic in, and in this one he's got, you know, the whole fan snapping, hitting people with the fan thing down. I did find that interesting, actually, the fact that he had to, like, use the fan as a weapon and fight with it. Did find that interesting. I feel like we also get some really good character development with him, because you can see, like, how he is at the beginning, towards the middle, and by the end you can see that he has changed. He has started to care about other people, and instead of kind of just ignoring the injustices he sees, he does try to fix them and he tries to help other people. I was actually super proud of his character at the end. Super proud. As for Arang, I loved her attitude, I loved her sass, I loved her determination and her perseverance. Even if I did want to shake her a few times, because come on, he was so creepy, and I really felt for her. I thought it was really interesting to see her kind of struggling with the things that she didn't remember or kind of know, like having parents and stuff. So, like, obviously he's looking for his mum, but she doesn't remember having parents, so it was kind of interesting to see that element. But I do feel like she kind of lost some of the attitude and the sassiness that I liked so much in the beginning towards the end. Like, I feel like for me, she started out as a really strong character, and then towards the end she just made some really stupid decisions that had me screaming at the screen and rolling my eyes, and I was kind of a little bit disappointed at some of the things she chose to do, and I just ended up getting so frustrated with her. Our second male lead is Jewel, and he is creepy as right from the start. I got such creep vibes from him. I wanted to think so badly that he wasn't actually that bad and he was just being shown a certain way to make us suspect him, but he was just so creepy. So creepy. Consistently. Although, you know, the creep factor with him does have a lot to do with some stuff that you find out at the end and the way it's been shot and directed, which was very well done, by the way. He just frustrated me because I was expecting for him to be a character that I would end up liking and kind of rooting for, and he had so many opportunities to do the right thing and he just didn't. Like, he could have chosen not to stab her. Could have chosen. He struggled with it. He still did it anyway. He could have chosen not to take her there. Did it anyway. He could have chosen not to help creepy demon lady and team up with the magistrate and Arang. Didn't. Still kept helping creepy demon lady. Right. Like, as much as I felt for him and could see his struggle, he just kept going along with her, and I was just literally just wanted to smack him one, like, come on. His end did actually make me really freaking sad, and I was hoping that there would be some sort of, like, redemption thing with him and that he'd get a happy ending too, but his made me sad. The support cast was completely brilliant. There were a lot of entertaining characters like the magistrate's henchman Dulce, plus the shaman was really entertaining too, and I loved the relationship between the two of them and watching it grow and develop. Honestly, the pair of them cracked me up. There are the 3 office workers who work at the magistrate's office who I refer to as the 3 Stooges, or Huey, Dewey and Louie, because one was wearing red, one was wearing green, one was wearing blue. I couldn't unsee it. They annoyed me. I wanted to smack them, but they did surprise me. One in particular, because I thought he was going to be the arsehole, but I was surprised that he took the magistrate's side. That kept it interesting. They were also kind of funny, but you also kind of wanted to smack them one. Like I said, I really love the Jade Emperor and his banter with his counterpart, but he really looked like Yu Young-jae from BAP, and I just couldn't get past it. I couldn't get over it. I couldn't get over it. I just looked at him and I was just like, Young-jae. I just couldn't get past it. I just looked at him and I was just like, when is BAP coming back? When? Along with the funny and entertaining characters, we have our 2 antagonists. Demon Lady, whatever you want to call her, didn't have a problem with her. I kind of got where she was coming from, and I did oddly feel for her. She was still a pain in the arse, don't get me wrong, but I did feel for her. I also really liked her acting performance. I think she did it very well in switching between the 2 characters. The one character I could not stand was Lord Choi. Dear God, what is it with historical dramas and having irritating old men that you literally just want to slap in the face? I wanted him dead so bad. It reached a point in the show when I could not even look at his smug face without getting irritated. As for the acting, I feel like in particular the actor for Ju-Wal did really, really well at portraying the struggle his character went through throughout the entire show, and especially towards the end I really loved his performance. The 2 main leads also gave us strong performances, which is kind of to be expected from those 2 actors, and the support cast did brilliantly too. I really, really liked how the romance started with them 2 bickering and arguing all of the time like little squabbling children. Plus the magistrate is just so sulky and pouty. I found it absolutely hilarious, and they were as stubborn as each other. I liked how the feelings developed. I felt like it was really natural. I really liked the direction the romance went. You could understand the struggles they were having and why. I also feel like the 2 of them had really great chemistry. There was just one glaring problem: the fact that she's dead. And although the romance is obviously secondary to the plot anyway, because there's other stuff going on, I actually feel like there's less of it than I was expecting and what I'd kind of been used to after the other dramas that I've been watching recently. So I was a bit like, is that it? So it's not really a criticism that you should take seriously. That was just my issue. It's honestly entertaining, it's funny, it's light-hearted, but there's a nice amount of mystery. Who killed Arang? What's the deal with the second male lead? What happened to the magistrate's mum? How is she gonna end up going to heaven? How is everything gonna be resolved? I really liked how it wove the different elements, the supernatural, the fantasy, the historical, with the different mysteries and the different plot threads. The show really gave us a lot of different interesting elements to it. We had the Grim Reapers, we had the ghosts, we had gods, we had fairies. The cast of characters was definitely interesting. It did keep me guessing a few things that I thought I had worked out and was kind of sitting there going, well, that's predictable. Actually wasn't. I did really like the final episode or 2 when they were journeying to the underworld and that whole adventure aspect, or quest aspect if you want to call it that. I did like the way it wrapped up and resolved everything. It made me smile, it made me chuckle, and I was satisfied with how it ended. And it was, you know, I was kind of half expecting to have my heart broken and it to be a sad ending, and I was getting really tense about this fact at one point, but I was like, no, it's too light-hearted for that, it won't do it. But you know, you can never be sure with K-dramas, and you know, Scarlet Heart Rio has scarred me. My main problem with the show, I think, probably wasn't the show itself and was more to do with me. I'm not sure if I hit a slump because I'd watched a few historical K-dramas, or if I hit a drama slump in general, or if I just wasn't in the mood for it. But I kind of never really had that, oh my god, I can't stop watching, I have to stay awake until 3 o'clock in the morning watching the episodes, and then I have to watch it, and oh my god, I can't watch the drama, and I'm devastated because I can't watch the drama, and I'm just like thinking about the drama the whole time and being excited to watch each episode and finding it hard to stop watching it. I never really had that moment with this drama. Like, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't fully invested, I guess, because I never watched more than one episode in a row unless I forced myself to because I wanted to finish it. I kind of procrastinated from watching it a few times. So I do feel like it partially could have been me overdoing it with the dramas recently or just not being in the mood. I do feel that. But at the same time, I do feel like it did drag in places plot-wise. The other big issue I had with this show links to the fact that I felt like the plot dragged. That is because we already knew what the big secret was by a certain point in the drama. We had essentially solved the mystery while the characters were still running around trying to figure it out. And I think I got frustrated because I just wanted to scream at the characters to just have a little sit down and a little information share and everything would have been resolved and fine, and it was incredibly frustrating to me. And because we lost that whole mystery element and had that solved for us, I feel like towards the end it made it drag a bit because we knew pretty much everything, and it was kind of, I don't want to say it was boring, but it was a bit kind of, you know, I do feel like it was a mistake for them to show us as much as they did because it did make it drag after a certain point, and then because it had dragged so much, the ending kind of felt a bit rushed to me. I also got really frustrated about Lord Choi because I felt like he could have been dealt with a lot sooner than he actually was, and they dragged it out and just had him swanning about, and it frustrated me that he continued to get away with his bullshit when I honestly think there was no need for him to still be there after a certain point and not having been gotten rid of sooner. So yeah, I ended up kind of struggling through the second half a little bit and then perked up when the end was near. I wanted to see how it was going to resolve and what was going to happen with the Magistrate and Arang, and to see everything, how it was going to come together. And I did enjoy watching the acting performances, I'm not going to lie. I was just expecting to love this one a lot more than I actually did. Like, I watched Scholar previously, which is another one of Joonggi's dramas, and completely loved it. I was expecting to completely love this one because everyone says it's so good, but I just didn't love it as much as I was expecting to, which I think disappointed me even more than the initial disappointment I had, if that makes sense. And I do feel like this could have been less episodes than it actually was. Then there was the music. I do have to mention the music for this one because it's a historical drama, right? The rap music during a couple of the fight scenes felt so out of place, it was ridiculous. Like, I had to kind of pause and just be like, am I hearing what I'm hearing? And I was like, is this actually coming from the drama or am I hearing things? And then I was like, no, they're dead ass playing rap music over a fight scene in a historical drama. It didn't fit, and I was kind of baffled as to why they used it, to be honest. So, I did enjoy this drama. It was funny, it was interesting, I liked the fantasy elements and the different things they brought in with the Grim Reapers and so on. Even if I did side-eye the morality/humanity chats with the two little gods. I just struggled with the second half because I feel like the writers revealed too much too soon. I feel like it could have been less episodes, and you know, they could have kept some things back so you didn't spend half the show knowing the answer and getting frustrated watching the characters running about trying to solve it. Like, I think it frustrated me so much because I was like, literally, you just need to pool information and sit down and have a chat instead of arguing over a girl. But whatever, I'm letting it go. So for me, it started out strong, but the second half wasn't as good as the first half, but it did have a satisfying ending. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you've watched this, let me know down below what you thought of it, if we share some of the same thoughts. I will link all of my social media down below so you can come scream at me about new dramas, and I will see you guys next video.